What's the word, people? It's your boy John back at you with another reaction video. This is what are red rooms of the dark web? Are they real? I personally think they real. That's just me. There's a lot of people going missing all over the country, probably all over the world, and some sick people out here probably kidnapping these people, taking them to the dark web, well, filming them, putting them on the dark web. And then you got other sick people telling them what to do on there. Who's to say? Nobody really knows. That's why the question is, are they real? But we're going to go ahead and get into this video and see what's good with it. Let's go.
It's late one night and you can't sleep. You toss and turn but can't seem to doze off. So you pull out your computer and head to some of your frequented online forums. You're on your favorite subreddit, r/infographic show, when suddenly a pop-up blocks your screen. The box is all black with red lettering. It reads, "Do you like the Red Room?" The Red Room, you think? What's that? You shrug and go to close the pop-up. As soon as you click on the creepy message, another window appears. A list of people's names who have accessed a Red Room before begins scrolling across your screen. The list ends. An ominous message is left for you to read. It says, "Everyone who has accessed the Red Room is now dead. Will you be next?" You slam your laptop shut and sit in the darkness. You're breathing heavily as sweat pours down your face. Well, that was creepy, you think. Your curiosity gets the better of you, and you begin doing research on what Red Rooms are. One of the first things you find after a quick search is an account from a blogger who knows about Red Rooms. The blogger explains he knows a friend of a friend who once paid to view a Red Room on the dark web using cryptocurrency. The Red Room user went deep into the dark web using the anonymous browser called Tor. It was the only way to watch the real Red Rooms because of the insane stuff that happens in them. The user logged in and waited.
Don't look at the Red Room, man. More people don't give them attention, the more I go away, I guess. I think that's what anything. That's bogus out here.
The live stream video was of a room covered in translucent tarps. In the middle of the room was a chair. In the top right-hand corner of the screen was a countdown. The user had 3 minutes to wait before the show would begin. When the countdown got to 0, one of the tarps was pulled back. A tied-up man was escorted in by a hooded figure. The captive was secured in the chair, and the hooded figure left the room. He then came back with a pushcart piled high with tools and instruments of torture. The man tied to the chair began to scream and plead for mercy, but there was none to be had in the Red Room. The user was able to vote for different ways to torture the man. The executioner would read the messages and do it, but there was a catch. The user said that in order to suggest a torture, people watching the stream had to pay using untraceable cryptocurrency. The person with the highest payment got their torture of choice carried out. The user explained that this went on for around 20 minutes until someone made a monstrous donation to have the captive killed. The execution was carried out live on the Red Room video for all to see. You are a bit skeptical that something as horrible as torture and murder could be found on the internet. Also, this description, like every account of Red Rooms that you find, all happen to be second, third, or fourth-hand accounts. It seems like Red Rooms are tied to the dark web, yet when you do a quick Google search for Red Rooms, a bunch of sites come up. Yeah, they're all scams or old sites that no longer work, but they were relatively easy to find. This makes you think that people made up Red Rooms to scam others and it evolved into an urban legend. But the weird pop-up from earlier in the night still haunts you. You need to learn more. You decide to uncover more about what the dark web is and how it's tied to Red Rooms. After some research, you find that the dark web is a relatively small collection of websites that are not indexed by search engines such as Google or Yahoo. In fact, you discover that there are only about 2,000 unindexed sites that make up the dark web. When you compare this to the regular internet, which contains well over 1 billion sites, you're surprised at how small of a niche the dark web actually makes up of total virtual content. Supposedly, the only way to access these sites is to use open source anonymity tools to uncover the hidden IP addresses. Browsers like Tor make it incredibly difficult to determine what is on the dark web and who is there unless you know what you're looking for. The dark web is based around anonymity, so it appeals to bad people doing bad things. You scour the internet for more information about Red Rooms. It's clear they are video streams of people doing terrible things like torture and murder. But do they really exist? Can you actually find one that's streaming live? From everything you've read, it seems unlikely. Most videos that claim to be Red Rooms are obviously just scams trying to steal people's money. What a time to be alive, you say sarcastically. As you go deeper and deeper into your research, you find an interesting rumor. It's claimed that the term Red Room has been around for decades. The name may have its origins in the movie The Shining, where red rum is written out in lipstick on a door. Later, the movie reveals that what is really being written is murder backwards. Another hypothesis of where Red Rooms got their name is from the 1983 horror film Videodrome. In this movie, torture is shown on live TV in a room painted red. Both ideas for the name of Red Room seems plausible. What doesn't seem plausible is that they actually exist on the internet. People have been known to do terrible things on the internet, especially when their identity is a secret. You don't have to go to the dark web to find websites geared toward racism, hate, and cybercrime. All of that can be found right on the regular internet. As you dive deeper into your research on the twisted world of the dark web, you come across a site that's claiming to be currently live streaming a Red Room. You're hesitant, but you need to know if it's real. So you click the link. It takes you to a video in progress. You think it's odd that a Red Room video would be easily accessible on the regular internet, but like so many others, your curiosity gets the better of you. The video in progress shows a woman being tortured by a man. The torturer is using different tools to inflict pain. Blood sprays everywhere. The man disappears behind a curtain. This can't be real, you think? He comes back into view as the shrieks of the hysteric captive fill the room. In his hand is a bone saw. A look of terror crosses the female's face. She struggles against the ropes, holding her onto the top of a wooden table. The man holds up the saw and brings it down onto one of the female's squirming legs. He puts his back to the camera and begins sawing. He's blocking the actual leg, but you can hear the screams and see the spraying blood covering the tarps that line the room. You're horrified. But what is even more scary than the Red Room are the comments of the anonymous watchers. They seem to be enjoying the torture. They're making suggestions on what to do next. You can't stand it anymore. You pull yourself out of the shock and grab your cell phone. You're about to call the police when the screaming stops. The man turns toward the camera and smiles. The female sits up, unties the ropes, and hops off the table. They take a bow. It was all just a show. No real torture happened, but it was still really messed up. Now, you're convinced that Red Rooms are either scams or gruesome staged videos where no one is actually tortured or killed. But then you stumble across claims that have been circulating the dark web forums. The rumors say Islamic State terrorists have been captured and will be tortured in a Red Room. The live stream is set to begin in just a few minutes. This seems like a twisted form of justice, but could it be real? Deep in the dark web, the site where the Islamic State fighters are to be tortured and killed goes live. A countdown starts. More and more people join the Red Room live stream. There's a lot of hype around this video. It seems legit. But right before the Red Room is about to begin, the site is taken offline. Hours later, the site comes back with a page that thanks everyone for watching and a 21-minute video of a guy being force-fed bacon. It seems like it was all a hoax. Yet again, the Red Room was a fake. You uncover no real evidence that Red Rooms currently exist or have ever existed. At this point, you're convinced that Red Rooms are all just an urban legend. As you look back at all of the research you did over the past few hours, you find holes in the Red Room myths. For example, the Tor software may allow people to remain anonymous on the dark web, but due to restrictions in what can be run, it's virtually impossible to stream any videos. The buffer rate would just be too slow to be viable. Also, the fact that there's virtually no first-hand evidence of a Red Room viewing is a big red flag. All accounts are from people who heard rumors from a friend, or an account that was found on forums that can't be verified. It would seem the Red Room urban legend has captivated the minds of people who search for crazy stuff on the dark web, but no real evidence for their existence has been uncovered. Maybe it's because people are too ashamed of what they did or saw. But people are not too ashamed to cyberbully or spread hate on the internet, so watching a Red Room video does not seem to be something people would be afraid to admit they've done. Even on the dark web, people can be found, given enough time and resources. The FBI and other law enforcement agencies have arrested people who engage in child pornography on the dark web. If Red Rooms existed, there's no reason to assume that people committing torture and murder would not eventually be apprehended. This is just more evidence that the Red Rooms do not actually exist. There are clearly terrible people doing terrible things on the dark web and the regular internet, but when laws are broken, they tend to be brought to justice one way or another. There have also been reports that hackers who use their abilities for good have analyzed a number of different dark web sites, such as Red Rooms. They found these sites not to be genuine. One hacker named Cthulhu analyzed a number of dark web sites and found they were set up with no real concern for security. If terrible things are happening in Red Rooms, which could land the creator in jail, you would think security should be their #1 priority, but this does not seem to be the case, which means that the Red Room sites are most likely scams or fakes. You close your laptop and lay back in bed. You're relieved that the horrors of Red Rooms have been shown to be fake, but deep down inside, you know that people are capable of some crazy things. Maybe if you went deeper and deeper into the black hole of the dark web, you would find a real Red Room. It's a scary thought, but the internet can be a scary place. You lay awake looking at the ceiling. So much for trying to go back to sleep, you think. Now, check out more.
I don't know if it's a real Red Room or not. Me personally, I'm not going to go ahead searching for one. All I can tell people out there is just be careful what you do on the internet, man. For real. Just be careful. And always watch your surroundings too, because people are crazy out here. You know what I mean? It's crazy times we living in right now. So always stay watching yourself. But this was a cool video, real informative. If you think the Red Room is real, leave a comment. If you want me to do any more videos like this, leave a link of what you want me to watch. I definitely will get that to you. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.